Welcome back, traders and investors, to Benzinga's pre-market prep, brought to you by Benzinga Pro. I'm your co-host Joel Elconin, along with Dennis Dick, joining me in the 9 o'clock hour. And the reason he's joining us is because we have an oldie but a goodie on, and that's Harlan Pyan from AllAboutTrends. Harlan, how was your Black Friday shopping this morning?
Yeah, non-existent.
You weren't out there at the
I
Best Buy
I know
lines?
better. It didn't even, it's not even worth it. You gotta love retail marketing. They will do whatever they can to get you in the door. But then you know what? You find out if you just wait a few days, the same thing you saw, it shows up everywhere, elsewhere, and you don't even have to fight a line. So I don't know. Save the tires on your car.
What are you looking at here this morning? Are you trading any of these retailers? We've got some news from Target. They said sales were strong here. Looks like Amazon is benefiting here too from online sales because Amazon's trading up $4 in the pre-market. We got Nike trading a little bit higher here. What are you looking at this morning in the retail sector? And do you see any charts that you like?
Well, a big part of what we do is we don't chase stocks. We allow them to come to us. And, you look at a stock like Nike here, good example. I mean, just take a look at this thing when maybe, I don't know, about a week ago, pulled back in tandem with the market, tagged a 120 support level, and that was your entry. Now you want to buy this thing at 135, breaking into a new high, overbought on, Black Friday retail. Hey, they're going to benefit. You're a little late to the party. So, if you're a day trader, hey, that's fine. But if you're, more of a manage your risk, pullback type trader to support and things like that, you're not touching it.
What are you touching? What charts are you liking right now here, Harlan Pyan? Then we can skip the you don't
Well,
even have to stay in the retail sector. You move on because we just want to get some stock picks from you because you always got some good ones.
yeah. Well, I was looking at Blick was meant, he pulled the chart on the chat that was, I think it was Vanguard something. And if you looked at it, was it VNR maybe? Was that the chart I'm trying to think? Yep. Vanguard Natural Resources. The only reason I bring that up is because, double bottom. Sure, it's got a ton of overhead supply. But take a look at GLNG. Because remember, I'm a chart pattern guy.
GLNG. Golar LNG. I don't think I've
Yep.
ever traded this stock before. GLNG. So what do you see that you like on this one?
Well, in addition to, like the Vanguard, here's a stock that's been beaten down. It's got a double bottom, and it's trying to launch up off its low. So you got some good support down in there. It's a stock you don't have to chase. It's a stock that you're not late to the party with. And, it's a really simple stock. I mean, if this thing breaks the support at, let's just call it 26, then, you know what you need to do. You need to walk away. Another one, which, gosh, I don't even know if I want to broach the issue of biotechs with you guys, is ZIOP.
Say that one again.
ZIOP.
Oh, Zyopharm.
Yep.
That stock action. Now this kind of looks like a Harlan Pyan chart. The breakout,
Doesn't it, though?
they'll pull. It does. This has Harlan Pyan written all over it. They'll pull back into 50%. Now it's starting to look a little bit higher here again. This does look like a good Harlan Pyan chart.
Well, the stochastics are oversold. There's good support at the 50-day moving average. Line up your bottoms off the October lows. You got a nice little uptrend off of the October lows. And here you have a stock that broke out into a new high out of a base at the same time the indexes were short-term peaking out a week or two ago. And, the late to the party crowd, the breakout buyers, like, nope, got to jump all over it. Not us. We just kind of sit back and go, all right, well, the market was short-term extended there, and we'll just let it come back down. And if it comes back to a real support level that we don't have to chase, we'll take a look at it. So that's one of them I'm looking at. The other one, Goldman Sachs.
Ooh,
Really?
Harlan,
Yeah.
stepping up.
Goldman, what do you like? You like that's similar looking chart. It's pulled back. You're
You
off
told
the
me what I
highs.
like. Well, how about we go
All right,
there?
so looks like a Harlan Pyan chart here too. Pulled back off the highs. So you're getting bullish the Goldman train. Goldman Sachs phrase.
Well, and then you can add Morgan Stanley to that. I mean, so these are all names that aren't late to the party like a Netflix or some of these other issues that are just into the stratosphere, and you're better off just selling your peanuts.
You know
You
what?
know what else too, Harlan? Just to go on that point, as we are coming into December, they are, a lot of people think they are going to raise interest rates, and that's going to be good for the Goldmans and the Bank Americas and the Morgan Stanleys here. So you wonder if they isn't a little bit of pre-buying maybe ahead of that Fed meeting there in December. So, your timing on this is impeccable.
Yeah, I just want
Well,
to throw
I just trade
Harlan
what
real
I see.
quick.
I'm looking for the patterns.
Right.
Okay. I just want to throw in real quick here, Dennis, that you're looking at this Goldman Sachs chart here. Guess what day this was? You see what I'm pointing to, the gap and go there. That was on the unemployment number, I believe, is when
Yep.
we
Yep.
had the hot
Pull
number.
back off those highs now. It's
Yeah,
giving you a
yeah.
chance. I like this play. I
So
like
do
these
I. I
positions
like this,
here.
Harlan. I'm loading up, and if it doesn't work out,
Joel's loading up.
you're not coming to the show anymore.
If it doesn't work, it's my fault, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
all
Okay.
Harlan's fault for sure.
Take
Send you hate mail if
responsibility
it
for
doesn't
your own trades.
What about some shorts out there, Harlan? I know you like to look at both sides of the markets, or anything that's kind of had a sell off, or come back up into resistance and kind of forming a little bit of top. Anything you're looking at on the short side?
Well, normally I would, but you know what? We've got literally a month before the end of the year, and the overall trend is up. Look at the indexes. You're spitting distance away from a retest of the highs, and typically markets, when they get that close, those highs, they act as a magnet. So, so the overall trend is up. I'm not going to, step into the seasonality of it here. And I'm just going to focus on the long side and stuff I don't have to chase.
Harlan, I'm just going to give you one more stock here just because I've got to actually hop and get ready for my open. I just stayed on an extra few minutes just because I wanted to talk.
I
wanted to talk to
privileged.
Harlan Pyan. I needed to talk to Harlan Pyan here. Just looking here at GoPro, GPRO. This is one that we were talking about on the show a little bit earlier here today. I'm seeing a little bit of a rounding bottom here, and this isn't really a Harlan Pyan chart, but I want to get your thoughts here on this thing over $20.
Well, it's been sitting down here in the gutter for the last week or two, but, it did that at the beginning of November. It sat in the gutter at 25 for a week or
True.
two. So, but look at the big picture. What is the overall trend of this chart off of the August highs?
Oh, it's
That's
ugly.
all you need to know.
It's ugly.
Right. So, that's the thing. When you get these chart patterns, what they should do is they should just jump right out at you. You're either going to see it or it's there or it's not. For me, I see a stock that's in a clearly defined downtrend that is showing me nothing, major. That's telling me I should step up to the plate.
Yeah, it's a good point. You're definitely fighting the trend on this one, and that's a good counterpoint there too to what Kenny was just saying on the show. Obviously, where he's looking at some of these as being beat up and maybe potential to get a pop here just because they've been beat up as of late. So two sides to every.
Well, there's a lot of validity to that. And I think I said it in chat this morning, and I totally agree with him. These analysts, why is it they always downgrade after a stock has already fallen apart? Why is it they always upgrade after a stock is already taken off?
Chasing
price. So why bother listening to these guys? Let the chart does the talking.
That's what we like about Harlan Pyan. The chart tells the story. Harlan, I got to hop. I'm going to let Joel take the rest of the interview, but great talking with you again. Keep in touch.
We're on the line with Harlan Pyan from AllAboutTrends, looking at the market. I mean, you made some general comments here about the overall market. What do you just think? I mean, tight ranges over the last 5 sessions. We did sneak down to 2065.5, and that was basically, you had a little international turmoil here. I'm just trying to play this move here. I think we got a big 20, 30-point move coming. Either busting out the new highs or pulling back here. What should I be focusing on, basis the broad market?
Well, for me, when I look at a daily chart of the S&P, I'm going, you know what? Where's resistance? Well, there's resistance at 21 and a quarter, let's call it, and then a retest of the highs. So are we closer to support or are we closer to resistance? And speaking of support, where is it? It's at the 50-day moving average. about 20, 25, let's call it 23. And so there's your range. And who knows? Maybe we just go back to a range-bound market between, say, March and August of this year. Between now and the end of the year, who's not to say we don't go range-bound?
One of your favorite followers here in the chat, Rob Hood, has a question
I
for
knew
you.
that was coming. How are you, Rob? Got a shout out to him.
Does Harlan think it's too late to get into EXLS? Let's take a look. We'll bring that chart up for those looking at your charts at home here. Whew, look at that, Harlan. Oh, Harlan will say, wow, it's a little late to the game.
Here, I get it, all right? Look at this issue back in late October. It made this big spike up, and anytime you get these big spike ups like this, stocks will do one of two things. They will digest and consolidate that big spike up, those gains, by doing one of two things. They either go sideways through time, which is what this is looking like, or they pull back in price. That's how you digest gains. I hate to use this analogy, but think about it. After you gorge yourself on a day like yesterday, the last thing you're going to do is go out and run a marathon. You see what I mean? You had this big spike up back in, late October. 2 days, it went from like 38.5 up to 46 in 2 days. That's the equivalent of Thanksgiving. So what happens then? You head for the couch and you take a breather and you digest before you get up off the couch. And now, look at it. It looks like it's starting to, at least Friday. I don't know what it's doing pre-market. But Friday, it had a nice little spike up there. So who knows? Maybe it's going to take off and bust into new highs. The fact of the matter is, all you need to, if you're going to buy this thing, you got to ask yourself one question.
Where's your out? Yep.
Yeah, where's your out? Where's your support? Breaks 43.5. That's it. See you later. Get out of the trade. And one of three things are going to happen once you get into trade. You're either going to make money, you're going to wash, or you're going to take a loss. It's know your outcome. And your outcome is, if this stock doesn't work, you know where your out is. But even if you miss that out, where's the other support if it breaks 43.5? This thing can come right down to 41.5, 42-ish, and there's another support level there. So you know what your downsides are. And I call that fluctuation risk, because all stocks fluctuate.
Look,
I got nothing bad to say about it.
Yeah, this is a tough. I mean, I believe this is new all-time highs, and this is a little bit of revisionist history here. But Rob Hood, looking at this one, immediately I see that breakout day, and I try and say, if you would have brought this stock up on Wednesday, I would have said, you had 1, 2, 3, 4 lower highs in a row, 4 lower lows in a row, and then the closes were a little bit mixed. But a lot of times when you see a string like that, a lot of times when it, like 45.07, 45.05, actually those were matching lows there. After a decline, breaking out through 45.10, I'd get a little bit more excited than, this thing breaking above, Friday's high at 46.28. Just because, where are you gonna get out? You gonna get out under 46? I mean, that's not giving yourself much room. Maybe figure out a daily pivot or something along those lines. Harlan, let's get a few more stocks in here. Some of the big boys. Apple. I mean, what do you think of that? I mean, not the greatest year for Apple here. Let's just take a look at it on a longer-term chart. What's your thoughts on Apple?
Well, Apple is a tape painting stock, just like Google, Amazon, Facebook. It makes up 8% of the market. Wouldn't surprise me to, at some point between now and the end of the year, see them push that issue. And one of the reasons is because you look at Amazon, you look at Google, they're so extended short term, it'll make your head spin. And, so we need to, they use a stock like those to push the market. Because if you look at equal weighted ETFs and indexes, those markets are all down. So, these are why I call them the tape painters. They'll push these stocks to give the impression and the actual print that the market looks really awesome, when under the surface you see a lot of slop. So, it wouldn't surprise me to see Apple, because it is that time of the year, it is that kind of a retailer, to take a push into the end of the year.
Okay. All right. And
What's interesting about it, though, is I can say this: the last 5-6 days, you bounced up off that support, you filled the gap, and here you are. You're in tight, call it 117, 120 range. So you are really tight right in here. And if you use support at, say, 111 and resistance at 123, you're in the middle of the road.
right. So I noticed it
So
said
it's kind of hard to trade.
Yeah, it is. I know you like not a real definable trend here. Just a couple more issues before we let you go, Harlan. Twitter, we talk about that stock a lot on the show. It's definite downtrend here. $25 level looks like to be really good support here. Anything to say good about Twitter?
You know, when I pulled the chart, when you first started talking about it, what I see that jumped out at me was the August lows minus the spike. Is it live or is it Memorex spike, I'll call it. And then the October lows, there's your double bottom, and you launched. After that, for me, there was really no trade. So you had to nail that double bottom as it lifted off. But since then, it's just been kind of sloppy, and one could say it's, base building down here. The question with base building at lows, you never know how long they're going to last.
Right, right.
So it depends on who you are and who you choose to be. If you're going to be a really short-term scalping day trader, couple of days, whatever trader, that's one thing. But if you're looking to catch a bigger trend, all I see is a stock going range bound between, let's just call it 24 and 32. So if it's going to go, and work up the right side finally, it's got a lot of work to do. So it's just not my forte. Different strokes for different folks. It just, whatever works for you. And if it works for you, great. But for me, it's just not something I'm looking at. I'm looking for, obviously, like you said, the Goldmans of the world, where you have these stocks, they spike up, then they pull back off highs to support, and that's where I want to watch them.
We've been on the line with Harlan Pyan. He's the co-founder about AllAboutTrends, joining us, giving us his simple but makes sense method of technical analysis. Harlan, have a great Black Friday, great holiday season, and we'll get you on perhaps early next year. Get your take on the market.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me. I appreciate being here. I love it all the time. Everybody take care. We'll see you soon.
All right, thank you. Harlan Pyan from AllAboutTrends.